So, yesterday, now, first of all, I want to underscore this segment by letting everyone know I respond to criticism on this show. So if you ever disagree with something that I have said, feel free to leave a comment, send me an email, send me a message on Twitter, whatever. I don't mind. And I'll read it when I can. Now, I can't guarantee you that I'll read it as soon as possible, but I'll read it when I can. And so, okay, so I respond to criticism on the show. But yesterday, I did an episode with someone on Twitter named High Progressive, and we spent the show yesterday discussing the General Strike Summit and the Fred Hampton Leftist Podcast Network. And we criticized them a lot. Some would even say we mocked them a little bit. And so we have a very concerned supporter of the General Strike Summit who left me a comment. And I want to read this because I find that this really, it gets at the heart of what we're dealing with when it comes to these motherfuckers on the General Strike Summit, these force the vote people. Like, this is what we're dealing with, folks. This is what we're fucking dealing with. So let's read. In fact, I'm going to need another drink for this one. I've already opened it up for the segment, so. So now I want to be very clear. I read "You both are deeply unserious" at the bottom, and I knew it would be good. So I have not read this yet. I don't know what it says. If you're reading ahead, don't spoil it. Okay? All I know is I saw the wall of text. I clicked read more. I saw it ended with "You both are deeply unserious," which, by the way, is something that Nick, a.k.a. Socialist MMA, a.k.a. Nick the Prick, says all the time. That's his catchphrase. That's his, like, you know, if you were to think of, like, what's the one thing that Socialist MMA says all the time, it's deeply unserious. You're deeply unserious. That's his, like, tagline. So I knew that this is either Nick on an alt or someone that watches the show all the time, and so they just absorb the lingo parasocially. So I know it's going to be good. I'm aware it's going to be good. So let's get into it. Okay. You do not know anything about FHL. Sky Daddy is not part of FHL! Now, it's possible we said that Sky Daddy is a part of FHL. I don't think we said that. I think that I think the title of the video is like General Strike Summit Guest. And guest implies that they're not part of the, you know, so I don't even, whatever. But it's possible that we said that they're adjacently related. It's possible. Okay, so. They are a black-led organization that you are just shitting on! They are literal activists in the streets! And that's in bold. You might not be able to see this. This is bold text. That's bold text, folks. They run mutual aids, but also talk about their ideology online, which is not hashtags! It is Fred Hampton, the Black Panthers ampersand socialism! They are not podcasters! They do not blame everything on the CIA! You don't know what you're talking about. Who are you on your guest talking about calling people unsavory? What authority do either of you have to determine what is or isn't moral, or what people should or what should or shouldn't be discussed? So, okay, let's stop there for a second. Let's stop there, okay. So, when I disagree with the Fred Hampton Leftist Podcast Network, as it is currently called, if you're watching this video in 6 months, it's probably going to be called something else, but we'll get into that later. So, disagreeing with something that they say on a podcast does not mean that I think that they are horrible people through and through and that everything they've ever done is bad. So, if they spend their time outside of talking about the CIA controlling Twitter, right, and they go outside and they actually do mutual aid programs, that is fantastic. That is great. I love that. And they should keep doing that, and they should focus on doing that and building that project. Now, I also do activism offline in multiple different ways, right? So if you disagree with my podcast, right, why are you trying to say that I'm a bad person, or, that I also do mutual aid. I also do activism. I do protesting. I do journalism. So by your own logic, I should also be immune to criticism. By that logic. But of course, that's not the case here, so. They do not blame everything on the CIA. You don't know what you're talking about. Who are you or your guest to call people unsavory? What authority do either of you have to determine what is or isn't moral, or what should or shouldn't be discussed? Do you know the caliber of guests they have had in the past? Dr. Cornel West, for one. The caucasity of you. What? What? So Dr. Cornel West goes on their show one time, and now he's the human shield. That's the thing. And that's exactly what Nick does. Now, this is why I think that this is Nick on an alt. Socialist MMA, Nick the Prick. I'm pretty sure that this is Nick on an alt. Because for the longest time, Nick's Twitter display name was Nick is a Dr. Cornel West Democrat or something. He self-identified as a Cornel West Democrat. And then Cornel West said that he voted for Biden over Donald Trump. And then Socialist MMA was like, nope, can't do it. And changed his handle. So this is why I think that, because this literally sounds like the shit that Socialist MMA whines about online. Now again, if they had Dr. Cornel West on their show, that's cool. That's cool. That has nothing to do with my criticism of Sky Daddy's theory that the CIA censored her Instagram. That's the thing, is these people will I've had fucking people on my show. Does that mean that if I talk about how I don't I just really it's a non sequitur. It makes no sense. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, where were we? You are being damn racist. FHL have more to offer people than you ever will. And FYI, to your progressive loser guest, FHL have been criticized by their viewers in the recent past for something major. And you know what? They took accountability and openly discussed it for their audience. I'm assuming that they're talking about when they fired Compton J for doing the General Strike segment, and then they realized, wait a second, we can make a lot of money off of this. Let's bring you back on, let's apologize, and then let's actually do the General Strike Summit. We mentioned that in our show, but I think they just replied this comment on a random snippet, not the full show, but we did mention that in the show, so. They are not as you both are painting them to be. Do not only highlight favorable comments. OMG, have you ever watched their content? They always show people with different opinions and don't even block people. You are just outright lying now. You are pathetic for this. Disagreeing with a black person on the internet is racist. Duh. So if a black person says that the CIA is monitoring their Twitter and their Instagram and banned them on Twitter and Instagram, and that it has everything to do with and the CIA made a bot Twitter account specifically to interact with you, because that's what Sky Daddy said. That's the clip we were talking about that this comment was based on. Sky Daddy said that the CIA had a bot reply to her Twitter, and she got baited by the bot so that the CIA could delete her Twitter and then also her Instagram. But she's black, and so therefore you can't say that sounds a little kooky. You're not allowed? What? 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 Okay. Also, know your place, girl. Whoa. Whoa. Is this guy trying to say that women are second-class citizens? One, why are they just saying girl like a pejorative? Two, know my place. What? That's sexist. Imagine if someone I'm not even going to go there, but that is sexism. let's keep going. FHL are your elders, and if you had any sense, you would learn from them. What does that even mean? I'm going to be honest. What does that even mean? My show has been around much longer than the Fred Hampton leftist show, the General Strike Summit. My show has been around longer than them. How are they my elders? Is it because like Nick, aka Socialist MMA, is older than me? Like his birth date is like at a longer period of time ago from now? What makes them my elder? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm really, like, that one is just like, I can't even pretend to understand that. Right? What? But okay. FHL are your elders, I guess. And if you had any sense, you would learn from them. Life experience matters. Instead, your arrogance clouds your judgment. Shame on you! The girl you laughed at, her name is Josana. She is an immigrant activist from Brazil that is fighting for all people's rights. All people? Whoa. Whoa, first of all, that all lives matter stuff, a little weird. But, now again, the idea that we are not allowed to mock someone doing something silly without, like, underscoring how great they're acting. If someone does something silly, and I see them doing something silly, I might think about it and then mock them doing that thing silly. That is not saying that her entire career as an immigrant activist is bad. If that is her career, and she is an immigrants' rights activist from Brazil, that's great. That's awesome. I hope that she continues to do that. That is stuff I like to participate in. That's amazing. But that's not to say that, like, by this logic, right? If I do one good thing ever, no one can criticize me for the rest of my life. So I did a protest against police brutality, right? That means you can't criticize me because I'm an activist. So let's say I, say something genuinely fucked up. You're not allowed to criticize me because I'm an activist against police brutality. Can't do it. So if I, like, one of these days, like, let's say 3 years from now, I decide to say, well, the cop really was justified in that shooting, or what, some shit like that. And someone said, whoa, what the fuck? Why are you saying that? My response will be, well, I was an activist, so you can't criticize me. Can't do it. I did one good thing, bare minimum in my life, therefore, I'm immune. It's like a vaccine. It's like, boop, all right, I did the good thing, now you can't criticize me anymore. What? Choking on ashes in the chat. I have a personal story that I would love to give to you after this segment is going, but remind me. Okay, so again, you can criticize someone saying something, and that is completely irrespective of their activism. I love the fact that a lot of these people are activists. That's great. A lot of people on the left should be activists, right? I commend activism. I think anyone that does any actual direct action, I feel like personally that puts you at a higher level on the totem pole of like logical, like, people that I should pay attention to. And that's why I criticize the Fred Hampton Leftist podcast so much, is because I know that they're activists. I know that they've done good things. And then when they say silly stuff online, I don't want people to fall for it. So that's why I will pay more attention to them than I do someone like Jimmy Dore. Now, I love to make fun of Jimmy Dore, of course, as well. But, like, I will spend more time dissecting arguments from people like the Fred Hampton leftists because they do have that credential that do dupe people like this. Now, I know that this is socialist MMA, just leaving this on an alt account, but whatever. Let's keep going. Maybe consider that your limited intellect and lack certain life experience. Okay, again, I did just drink some alcohol, so please bear with me. But this is not English. Okay. Maybe consider that your limited intellect and lack certain life experiences, means that you cannot grasp solutions outside of electoral politics or the capitalist framework, that you perhaps also suffer from cognitive dissonance, as everything FHL discusses is credible and sourced. So, you can get me the source for the CIA banning Skydaddy on Twitter. I'd love to see that. Or has a professional in the field to talk about the topic at hand from experience. This is bad faith and nonsensical. Okay, so, first of all, my show, I don't care about electoral politics. So, but again, this guy isn't analyzing my show, right? They're doing this whole, oh, you're criticizing a clip of someone. But have you seen every single episode? This is like if someone saw one episode of like SpongeBob SquarePants, but it was like from season 14 or something, like one of the newest like pieces of garbage. And they said, yeah, I saw SpongeBob, not really a huge fan of it. And then I asked them, oh, you saw season 14, but what about season 1? Season 1 is really good, and then but you're judging the show based on one bad episode. That's like, so that's their criticism, right? But then they're doing that exact same thing to me. I am also an activist. I also do in-person organizing. I also do mutual aid and direct action. So everything that they're using as a defense of the Fred Hampton Leftist Network is also applicable to me. I don't care about electoral politics. I am like, if you watch any episode of my show, you will know that. But they don't watch any episode of my show. This is like a copy pasta. They don't care about what they're talking about. They don't care about how hypocritical it is. If you haven't seen every episode of the Fred Hampton Leftist podcast at least 10 times, you can't criticize them. But I've never seen or heard of you ever in my life before, and I'm going to make up a bunch of stuff about you because I feel like it. Huh? What? That doesn't make any sense. But let's keep going. So you thought, okay, maybe they have a point. Maybe they've got a point. Let's keep reading. ETA. What does ETA mean? Estimated time of arrival? What? Folks. Okay. Estimated time of arrival, semicolon. Did they mean like PS, postscript? But they wrote ETA? I don't know. The world may never know. But okay. ETA, and this is emboldened. And for God's sake, Jimmy is not anti-jab, question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point. Edit to add. Oh my God, this person is here. They're here. All right, that's amazing. All right, cool. Okay. Hold the phone. They're here. Do you want to hop on Discord, buddy? Do you want to like have a conversation right now? Because I would love to have this conversation with you. But let's continue. How many times must he say it? He took the jab! Now again, on his show, it was said by his wife, and you'd presume his wife can speak for him because they spend every moment together, right? His wife said if he knew what he knew now, he would not take the vaccine. That is objectively anti-vax. If I read a bunch of fake studies, let's say I eat meat, right? And then I read about how bad meat is for your body and I become a vegetarian? Does that mean I'm not, then someone says, but you used to eat meat. You used to eat meat! How dare you! He literally on his show says he regrets getting vaccinated. That is objectively anti-vaccine. I don't know what to tell you. So that's dumb. He is anti-mandate and is informing viewers of complications people have had with it. Also, he is factually stating that everyone will get the virus and we cannot jab our way out of getting sick. That is not a fact. That's like saying it is factually that I will shoot you in the head. Now this is I will shoot let's say a cardboard cutout of a gingerbread man in the head, okay? But I have a gun, the gun isn't loaded. Now then, let's say 6 months later, the gun is loaded, right? The safety's off, and then I pull the trigger. And then let's say I slow down time, whatever, and then I say it is factually that I'm going to shoot you in the head. At that point, after the trigger has been pulled, Yes, sure, maybe it's a fact. But to say it is factual that everyone will get the virus when that is like before I've even loaded the gun, that's not the case. We are still, that's like saying it is factually speaking that climate change is going to burn the whole planet up and everyone's going to die. That's just facts. It's just factual. How about we maybe try to intervene? How about maybe we try to stop that from happening? Maybe? Think about it, but okay. Many credible doctors have stated this. I would love to have sources on that. Look outside of your damn echo chamber. You both are deeply unserious. So first of all, I would like to say welcome to the stream, Nick. I know we were planning on doing a show last year before you went full crazy. If you still want to do the show, let me know, because I'm interested. And if not, I would consider you a beta male. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you are afraid to defend your own ideas, you're a beta male. It's that simple. But I would love to see the credible doctors that said that every human on Earth will get the coronavirus and that vaccines don't do anything. I would love to see those credible doctors, because I don't believe that they exist. And so I'm open to having this conversation. But again, at the end of the day, the only logical criticism that you portrayed was that I am not an activist, therefore if someone else is an activist, that I should not be allowed to criticize them. And that criticism makes no sense when you consider that I am an activist. And you can literally look at all my activism online. It's publicly available. So that's weird. Like in the show that you're leaving a comment on, like the snippet from, the show starts off with me talking about a protest I attended. So the idea that you're going to say that I'm not an activist or like that FHL are my elders, so is Joe Biden. Joe Biden's my elder. Does that mean we have to listen to everything Joe Biden? Well, he's my elder. Huh? Donald Trump, he's my elder. Yeah, stop the steal, y'all. Yeah. Well, he's my elder. Of course I gotta do it. What? The fuck? What? Like, I'm just trying to, like, it makes no sense. Like, with the criticism is, like, again, this motherfucker says, have you even seen have you seen my content? Clearly not. If you don't know that I am an activist, you clearly haven't seen my content. And if you haven't seen my content, how dare you even criticize me? What? I'm sorry, but I'm not falling for that. Like, and neither is my audience, because I cultivate an audience of people that are of a certain kind of intelligence, and they've got a decent bullshit detector. Those are the people that watch my stream. People with a very decent bullshit detector. And if you're trying to peddle bullshit in my stream, anyone that reads this comment and knows anything about me is going to immediately know that you're stupid. Like, anyone that's seen any one of my shows ever, reading this comment, they're going to know it's full of shit. So you're only speaking to yourself. You're only speaking to your echo chamber. You're only speaking to people that are going to load the video, pause it, and scroll down and read the comments, and they don't know anything about the video. They don't know anything about me. Right? You know that kind of person, right? That will see the title of a video, pause it immediately, scroll down, and cry and whine in the comment section. That's the only person you're appealing to. And to be honest, go for it. I don't care. Because the more people comment on my videos, right, the more people see that shit and they'll leave you a comment and say, they're damn right, fuck that tranny, or whatever the fuck the Jimmy Dore fans are doing nowadays, right? That's going to be more views for me. And more views is more money. So feel free to continue leaving comments. Feel free to continue replying to people in the comments telling them that I'm a sellout electoralist. Imagine actually looking at any of my body of work and thinking I'm an electoralist. Like, Oh yeah, Andrea, that the famous electoralist. Again, anyone that knows anything about me is going to see like the first couple of sentences in that and know that you're peddling bullshit. So, but thank you for the comment. I appreciate it.